Hi aerial yogis, I'm Camille and welcome back to my CamiyogAIR aerial yoga channel. Today guys, I invite you to all levels hips flow, where we will focus on more like mobility and flexibility in the hip pelvis area, as well as a little bit incorporating breath work in the beginning and shavasana or deep relaxation in the end of the class. And if you would like to deepen your aerial yoga knowledge or improve your vocabulary of aerial yoga poses, tricks, and sequences, I invite you to join my online courses that you can find all information here down below on my website, as well as the Silk Shop. But other than that, now let's go deeper into those stretches and hip openers. Just make sure that your silk is hip height and hip width, which is more or less the standard height of a silk, and we can start. So first of all, spread your silk. As I mentioned before, we will start with a little bit breath work just to reconnect with the body, with yourself. So just spread it out and let's meet in embryo pose. So if you're not sure what is embryo, you can check the entries over here. And now, further ado, let's meet in embryo pose. Okay, so make yourself comfortable, straighten your back, relax your shoulders, relax your face, especially your jaw. You may choose your head position. Perhaps you're leaning back, or maybe you're leaning to the front with your forehead into the silk, so up to you, whichever works for you. Close your eyes or just soft gaze in front of the silk. And let's enter the Ujjayi breath, ocean breath, deep and slow. So try to imagine that you're breathing all the way down to the bottom of your body. And as you breathe out, feel how your body sinks inwards into your body center, how your belly shrinks, rib cage narrows, and a chest comes down. But when you breathe in, feel how you expand into the spaces, if you would have a balloon inside within you, and it expands to all directions, forward, backwards, to the sides, up and down. And as you breathe out again, all those directions sinking inwards towards your body center, solar plexus area. Just each time breathing deeper, bigger, and each breath out, make it slower, prolonging the breath out. In that way, we're calming down the whole nervous system. And when we're breathing deeper, we also start to hear that soft sound, soothing sound as if wind within us that brings us into this moment. Just a little bit more. And now just focus on the pelvis area, on your hips. Perhaps imagine the orange color, which is connected to the chakra system, energetic centers. Since we more focusing today on our hips, so we activating more of that energetic center, which connects us with the emotions, feelings, and especially accepting our feelings, ourselves, accepting our bodies. So reconnecting in the deeper levels of us. And once we connect and accept ourselves, then we can reconnect with the outer world and receive energy. So just few breaths, imagining that orange color in your lower back, around your hips, and your lower belly, together with your breath, imagining that color expanding and filling you with joy. One last big breath in and breath out. Okay, and now we will slowly come out of the embryo pose. So first of all, take your feet out, that the silk will be just under your knees. And let's stretch out as if just awakening in the morning, reaching with your arms up, maybe yawning, or whatever you want to do. Maybe stretching a little bit your legs, circling through your ankles. So up to your choice, wiggling around. And then find the silk in front, press away and bring the back leg to the front, facing me. Find the sides of the silk and we will slide all the way down, leaving the arms inside the silk. I will turn sideways so that you would see clearly, but you can stay to the front. Okay, so just make sure that your knees are hips apart, leaving the gap as we will start to move and warm the body into cat-cows. So now breathe in and drop your belly down, but lift your head up, arching. Breathing out and rounding your back, look towards your belly, squeeze your glutes and squeeze your lower belly inwards. Breathing in and opening, but contracting your back muscles, feeling that shortness through the back muscles. Breathing out and squeezing your front body while lengthening through the back. So a few more like that. Breathing in and arching. Breathing out and squeezing everything into the little ball. One more. And breathe out inwards. Okay, let's stay to the neutral, like tabletop. So slightly just engage your core, but not fully, not rounding the back this time, not cow or cat, just straight back. And now we will circle the hips a little bit to move them through the hip joints. So just on your way, on your own rhythm, just as you wish, but keep circling around, imagining that you're going around your knees to the all directions, to the sides, back, to the other side, and then to the front, as if you would do like sort of half plank, not all the way, but you should feel it, and change direction. Just a little bit lubricating the hip joints, since we will focus more on them today. Okay, and let's come back to the neutral position. Now tuck your toes and lift your knees. Okay, so you should be still facing forwards, and we will move to the Malasana Garland pose to a little bit again start moving and stretching through the hips as well as through the lower back. So make sure you're putting the silk now behind your back of the head, not on the neck, but where you feel those poking bones of your skull. Okay, so we want the silk on those bones and through the ears. So first of all, you're on tiptoes, but then once you adjust your silk over your head, lean back into the silk. Now lower your heels and then low down to your comfort so you can readjust. Okay, and then release your arms once you get adjusted. You can leave them just hanging on your knees. Maybe Anjali Mudra, Prayer Mudra by your heart, whichever works for you. And a little bit shift your weight from side to side. Just a little bit swirling while feeling that stretch through the inner hips, inner thighs, and elongations through the whole spine, especially the lower back, while strengthening the neck. You can close your eyes. Few deep breaths. Last one. Okay, and that's enough. Find the silk over your head. Take your head out. Lift your hips. Turn your heels backwards to come to parallel position with your feet. The hips apart. And we entering tabletop. Start swinging from side to side into lateral stretches through your rib cage, through your side body, to come to the neutral spine position. Okay, and then I will turn sideways so you could see we will add cat-cows in here. So keep pressing your arms forward to keep the line, but breathing in and we lifting the head, so slightly arching, not as we did in previous cat-cows. This is more of the strengthening and even deeper elongation of the spine. Breathing out and curling in, squeezing nose towards your belly button. Breathing in and elongating, looking forwards or up. Breathing out and tucking your pelvis under and squeezing your core muscles. So just a few more like that. Breathing in and breathing out. Last one. And breathing out inwards. Okay, and now we will move to Uttasana, which is forward fold from a standing position, but we will add also shoulder, a little bit mobility, since throughout all aerial yoga practices, we actually incorporate the whole body, just some focus is more on some particular body parts. Okay, so when you're in tabletop, we slide the arms to the side and going all the way behind and sliding as much as you can and it's available to your body, to lower your belly towards your thighs, nose towards your knees, and then again breathing in and coming back, sliding with your arms through the sides to the front into the tabletop. So breathing in, arms to the side, you're lifting a little bit your chest, breathing out, and you're lowering all the way down or as much as you can, actively using your core muscles to really draw yourself towards your thighs. And then again, sliding forwards and breathing out into tabletop. Breathing in, arms to the sides, breathing out into forward fold. And one more time, breathing in, coming back and breathing out to tabletop. And breathing into the sides, breathing down. Let's stay here. Now you can readjust your arms and how you hold the silk. You can start by just hooking your elbows over the silk. And maybe swirling around, swinging from side to side to stretch deeper through your hamstrings, the back of the legs, and the back of the hips, the pelvis area. Or if you want to go deeper, extend your arms up, find the silk, and slide as much as you would like to go deep. Okay, so just listen to your body, how much you want to go. Every day is also a day from day is different. Our bodies are different. So, just listen to yourself. What it feels right. Just a few breaths. Okay, and now we will move into stretching for the inner thighs and hip flexors. So let's go to the lower lunge. So find the silk, either if you were on your elbow, so now find the silk over your head, over extending your arms, and step your right foot in front, widen your lunge, and lower the back leg on the knee. Okay, so we will stay in this hanging position as we are. So head, shoulders just dropped and passively stretching through the front of the body while we pressing the pelvis area as deep as we can. So just make sure that your knee is over your heel, okay? It doesn't go over your foot because that might stretch your knee and might feel uncomfortable. So just make sure that you have that straight line, vertical line, okay? And once you set up, so just release. Relax your head, swinging around, and feel how it stretches your hip flexor through the back leg and inner thigh. One more breath in, and breath out. Okay, we will come back. So let's readjust for the other side. So bring your front leg to the back into kneeling position, and then step the other leg into the front, whichever it was your back leg. Okay, and let's lower down. Release your head, your neck, stretching through the front of your shoulders. You can readjust your arm position on the silk, whichever works for you. I like sometimes just wrap around one time if I do some passive hanging, and maybe some swinging motion, checking your knee that it would be over your heel. And of course, don't forget to breathe. One more breath in, breathing out. Okay, and we will come back a little bit, reset into child's pose. So breathing in, coming back, Readjust your silk, that it won't end up into your front. And we will lower the hips onto your heels, releasing into the child pose. So make sure that now the arms are not going behind, but in front. If that's not clear, so just release the silk. And the arms will wrap from around, not so instantly inside, but from around and in, okay? And then we're meeting in that child's pose. So we're stretching still the front body, the shoulder line, but from different rotation and from different angle. While we're releasing the hips slightly into that neutral position. So we stretch through those hip flexors to a little bit release them. So 2 big breaths. Okay, and then round back, come up all the way into the standing, so stepping forwards and silk behind. And that's where we actually entering our main hip flow of today. So just find yourself that the silk would be just by your rib cage, okay? So lower than the armpits and lower than the shoulder blades. And now, the first pose we will start, you might say it's like a standing pigeon pose. To do so, first of all, we need to hook the leg. I will mirror you, so let's start with the right leg wrapped around, okay? So we need to jump, or you can, of course, if you're flexible enough, you can just do this. But if it's a little bit a challenge, which is normal because it's quite high, then I would suggest go forwards, bend your knees as if you're doing chair pose, okay? Lean back as if you're laying on a silk, and then kick, jump, right? But you're entering here as if in hanging position, and then wrapping around. Okay, so just work on it. Try a few jumps, and you will see you will get there. Just keep trying. But if you're already here, now we need to a little bit readjust. We're not actually leaning onto the silk. We actually, from this position, will stand upright. So pull yourself up. And now you might see, like it happened to me, that the silk slipped. So we actually want the silk under or as close as possible to the ankle area, okay? So that the knee would stick out and the silk won't be somewhere here by the knee. And we want it as low as possible towards the foot. This is where that stretch really goes juicy, you might say. And let's start with this. I will tell you the progression if you want to go deeper. You can just lean your forearms and forehead into your arms and just stay here. So the actual direction of the movement is not backwards but forwards. So we're pressing into that hooked leg. Okay, so we are here. Just keep on breathing deeply. You can keep your foot either point, flexed, or relaxed in this way. But if you want to go deeper, that progression, then you create a little bit space, lean back, and then you hook that foot onto the second silk as well. So you a little bit readjust. Hook it. Find the ground. Okay. And then you get that more like a horizontal line in front of you. So just make sure you're creating that space a little bit to readjust yourself in the standing position and you won't fall somewhere. But in here, we're definitely holding the foot flexed just to keep it safe through your knee because it's a deep hip opener. And that's where we want to feel a stretch in a hip, a right hip, not the knee. So just to keep it all intact, that's why the flexed foot will help you. So you can leave your forehead here, just relaxing, maybe closing your eyes. Really nice deep stretch to increase our flexibility and range of motion through the hip joint. Well, of course, not only the hip is happening in here, we're also stretching through the inner thigh, and the standing leg stretches inner thigh and the hip flexor. So a lot of things going on as always when we're practicing one pose, but actually a lot more happens than just one area. So just a little bit more, holding this hip stretch, hip opener. Last breath in. Breath out. Okay, good. So now if you've been in this deeper position, let's come back to the previous one where we went onto the one side of the silk. So readjust, but the silk would be just by the ankle. Okay, so we're in this. And now we'll do a little bit like a dynamic motion where we're just opening the knee and the leg to the side and coming back. This one is super good to lubricate your joint. You're really feeling that range, full range through your hip area. So just keep on moving forth and back. Okay, now let's stay onto the side and a little bit hold it and press your chest forwards to feel a deeper stretch. Okay, let's come back to a little bit, release it, sort of release it. We're still holding the pose, just not as deep. And to release it in spinal twist. So now the left arm finds the opposite knee, which is that front knee, right knee. If it's not possible, you can also hold just for silk. Okay, so up to you. And the other arm, which is your right, reaches back as if you want to really find something behind the cells. Looking and gazing towards your back hand. Just a little bit more, one more breath in. Breathing out, coming to the front. Let's come back to that hip opener to the side. So opening through the inner hip rather than outer. And now, hold your silk over your head. Take your elbows forward. So we're releasing your silk just in the back of cells as we're moving to the standing half split. So now slowly release your arms onto the thigh and slide all the way towards your shin, ankle, or maybe the floor. Up to you. Doesn't really matter. Even if I reach the floor, I like to actually hold on my shin for the extra balance and challenging myself. And now keep that knee that is in the silk, drawing it all the way as much as you can backwards behind yourself. You really open from the inner hip area. So like a half butterfly, you might say. So if I turn to the side, my weight is a little bit back as well, just that I go deeper into the hamstrings to stretch the whole back of the leg, the standing leg. And I'm drawing my belly towards the thigh, and of the help of the hands, are really pulling myself. And I'm pulling not from my head, but pulling from that lower back, gluing it from down of the spine all the way up. You know, like a wave going through. I'm looking to the toes, to not release completely on my neck, just a little bit more, holding up this deep stretch. One more breath in. Breathe out, release your knee back to the side, just neutral position. Slightly bend the bottom knee, which is your left knee. And from around the back, come all the way up. Good. And from here, we're just finding the silk, taking the foot off it, and to release and have a break into the tabletop. You can take the legs as wide as you want. I like to do some like figure 8 shape with my hips, so bending the knees alternatively to release all the tension that we created through those deep stretches and hip openers. Of course, it's up to your choice. You can leave your legs straight, maybe just moving and swinging through your back, upper back, or just staying in one place and holding the pose in here in that tabletop. So up to you. Just have a breath, and also in this time, just notice how your body feels, since we did more flow through one side. One more breath in and breath out. Okay, and from the tabletop, let's go and move on to the other side. So slightly bend your knees, around back, come all the way back, up, and make sure that the silk is behind. So lean into it. Silk is just under the rib cage. And we will hook now the left leg around the silk. So you can hook it just from the standing, or if it's a little bit of struggle, which is okay because it is quite intense, just jump and then try to hook it. Okay. So first of all, let's all start with the silk by the ankle. So pull yourself a little bit up into standing, readjust. If needs more space, you can always just pull around the silk forth and back to find the position that works for you and it's comfortable. Okay, how the silk realigns. And just rest your forearms against the silk, same as your forehead, against your hands or wrists area, and just keep on breathing. A little bit pressing with the breath out, your pelvis forwards, and you should feel how your outer hip is stretching through. You might feel some inner thigh, the bottom leg stretching, maybe even lower back. So for everyone might be a little bit different, the sensation in every pose, what we feel. And if you want to go deeper and you did on that previous side, then let's readjust. Lean back, lift your leg slightly higher, hook it over to the second silk side. Find that more or less horizontal line. Just make sure, very important part, to keep your foot flexed, okay? And then maybe here resting your forearms and your forehead. Keep breathing, maybe closing your eyes and just feeling that nice stretch, deep stretch for that outer hip. Breath out is slower than the breath in. That's when the body tends to release, and we're using that to go deeper, to expand our flexibility. A few more breaths. Last breath in. Breathing out. Okay, so now if you've been in this deeper position, come back onto one side of the silk, readjust, but it would be by the ankle, okay, as we want to come closer, more looking like a pigeon position, sort of. Okay, and from here, we're moving that dynamical movement where we're opening the knee and the leg with the thigh to the side, and breathing out, coming back. Breathing in, opening, breathing out, coming to the front. So let's move more through these. These are super good on the hip. Sometimes I hear some cracking noises. I hope my hips won't break. Okay, and let's stay to the side. Push your chest forwards. You might feel a little bit lateral stretch through the hip, through the rib cage area, which is fine. We're adding more sensations at the same time. Multitasking, saving time. Okay, and let's come back and we will do a spinal twist, so a little bit release. So find that with the right hand, left knee, or the silk, so up to you. And reach behind as if you really want to touch something behind your back. Look towards your back, hand, fingers. And while you're holding onto the knee, you're a little bit pulling it towards you to go into deeper spinal twist. One more breath in, breath out, come to the front. And now from this, your elbows will go to the front. So letting the silk to release behind your back. We're moving back with the knee to the side as we did previously, but this time the arms will slide onto your thigh first of all. Okay, so just make sure you are holding your balance. And then slide your arms onto your shin, ankle, maybe your hands on the floor. It doesn't really matter where you hold them. And try to lift your knee not only to the side, but all the way behind and opening through the inner sides of the hips. While using your arms, you're pulling your upper body towards that lower leg. So starting pulling yourself from the lower back. You really want to touch your belly towards the thigh to reduce that gap between the upper body and downward, that bottom leg. So the head is actually a little bit lifted. We want to feel that gluing sensation only from your belly and the thigh. And of course, arms helping you to do so. Keep lifting that knee that is in the silk. Maybe your hands on the floor. And of course, just keep breathing. The breath out is slower than the breath in. Just a little bit more, stretching through those hamstrings, the back of the leg. Last breath in. Breathing out. So we're releasing first of all that lifted knee, which is your left knee. It's coming to the side into neutral position. Then bend and soften your right knee to come with a breath in all the way up. Okay, and breathing out. Find the silk from inside. Take your foot out. And let's meet into the tabletop. A little bit releasing your hips, maybe swirling them into the eight figure eight shape. Or maybe just standing with straight legs, up to you. Okay, and then let's come up as we move to the inverted position, back straddle. So now we're kind of releasing into the soft motion, more passive stretches. So back straddle main position is basically like inverted butterfly, passive butterfly. So let's start into back straddle as always, bending the silk in half, especially when we're holding the poses longer, just to keep your back safe. So find those separate edges and put them together, realign. And then sit with your pelvis, with your buttocks inside the silk, so keep your thighs out. And find the sides, slide down just by the hip area. So we want that really just that hips will be covered around. And so in here, breathing in, breathing out, opening your legs to the sides and wrapping around. Okay, and now we can just release. Relax your head, relax your spine, relax your belly. Everything is just dropping, elongating. And passively in this way, we're opening the hips. You can swirl around. Okay, and let's add the shoulder stretch. So interlace your fingers behind your back, the opening more. Let your arms just drop towards the floor. The floor is here. Sometimes when we have sit downs, kind of hard to understand where's the floor, where's the ceiling, right? Anyway, so from this, let's stay with our arms as we are. We're moving to the king pigeon, inverted king pigeon from here. First of all, wrap your feet around. It's just that the one leg that will stay in the silk would keep flexed for the same reason as always, to keep your knee more engaged, but as well as to keep opening the hip. So let's take, let's say, right leg, my left, out, or whichever leg is, doesn't really matter. We'll do both. It's not a flow anymore, it's more just stretching for both sides. So either releasing the leg all the way down, or maybe you might try just to hook it inside your arms, so whichever, and feeling that opening through the chest, shoulders, stretching through your abdominal area, hips. So in here, if you keep your foot flexed inside, or in other words, ankle by your silk, you will feel that outer openness through the hip, and as well as that inner stretch of the hip, internal stretch through the hip of the leg that is just hanging through the hip flexors. So 2 in 1, 2 directions of the hips, stretching through. One more breath in. Breathe out. Let's release. Come back. Big circle, half circle around into the silk. And now we will change. So yet again, let's interlace the fingers. Or you maybe haven't released, so just stay as it is. And changing the legs. Maybe your leg just hanging. Maybe you will hook it inside. Or just holding maybe with one hand. If you want to try to catch your foot. And of course, just keep on breathing, feeling that expansion through the whole front of the body. And with that inner observation of your body, notice how your hips feel. Have you noticed that internal and external stretch through the hips? Notice if your upper foot is hooked into flexed position, or even if it's point, make sure that the ankle is just along the silk, okay, that it's not dropping all the way down. So a few breaths. Last breath in. Breathing out. Let's release. Come back. Now we're a little bit rounding the back into the child's pose, inverted child's pose. So look towards the belly. Find the silk and hook your feet. Now, not come out yet. Just stretch the silk all the way up, that you can lay your head inside, knees onto your belly. So bend knees by your chest, and then just relax. You can leave either your arms hanging, you can hug your knees, so whichever works for you. Just a little bit releasing and rounding through that after the deep king pigeon pose, hip opener, but also chest opener, deep back bend. One more breath in, breath out. Okay, and going to the more passive stretches. So let's start with the happy baby. So take first of all your head out. Now narrow your sides of the silk and keep your feet together as you're lifting them up. Then once you're through the silk, open your feet out and wrap around. So basically we're doing upper side wrapping, then we're doing back straddle. Okay, so the knees are going from inside to outside. Lift your hips a little bit, that with silk would slide over your waistline and the hips of the pelvis area would be just hanging there. So once you're adjusted and hooked, now you can bring your head back inside. You can slide a little bit your feet down to really bend your knees. And then releasing your arms over your head to stretch a little bit through the shoulders. Otherwise, there's nowhere really where to put the arms in anyway. So that's why we're leaving over the head, but also for that nice opening, passive opening through the upper body. And your feet actually more or less passive. Only the big toe is hooking onto the silk, but the rest of the foot, the ankle is actually passive. So notice that. Or try to release as much as possible, only holding that big toe. And feel that full elongation through your spine, releasing of the pelvis area. As we are arriving towards the end, so calming down, winding down through the body. One more breath in, breath out. Okay, and now let's take again the head out, although we will come back to it. Unhook the toes as we're moving to the heart open after this clenching and small poses of crunchiness. Let's a little bit again extend. So unhooking your toes softly, releasing one leg at a time. Now I will change position towards you. You don't need to change anything, just stay as you are. So once you landed from here onto the floor, leave your silk as it is under your rib cage, okay, or readjust if it's slid somewhere else. And then again, bring your head inside, arms just hanging over, and what's important that you would really release those hips downwards, as if weight is pulling them towards the floor. And once you are here, and just sort of like chair pose, you can add some swinging motion. It's really nice to stretch out into this passive heart opener, releasing that lower body, lower back. Few more moments. And with breath in, lift your head up. Before Shavasana, let's neutralize and stretch really the back and the hips into the passive spinal twist. So first of all, close your feet. Just lean your forearms into the silk. For now, hold the edges just while we're entering that spinal twist. Lift your left leg and just cross it over the right one. You can stay like this. You can hook even the ankle in your foot if that's available. It doesn't really matter. A little bit walk towards that left side, and then just drop your knees down. Okay. Then bend your elbows that you could release your head onto the hands, maybe onto the left side of the silk, looking downwards, maybe closing your eyes, and just passively stretching into the spiral motion through the spine, through the hips. Then maybe your knees will lower all the way down. Maybe they will stay lifted. One more breath in. Breathe out. Okay, and we will come back. So breathing in, lifting, breathing out, unwrapping your legs. Okay, and this time the right leg crossing over the left. If you want, you can wrap your ankle. A little bit walk and readjust that you wouldn't end up on the right side. And dropping your knees towards your left side. Head is leaning onto the right side of the sill. Looking down and maybe closing your eyes. Last breath in. Breathing out. Okay, and let's come unwrapping your legs, walking back into standing. And now let's take a rest into Shavasana in cocoon. If you're not sure how to flip or enter the cocoon, here's 5 ways how to do so. You can check them, and then let's meet in cocoon. So make yourself comfortable. Readjust, make sure you're in one line. You can also do a sleeping butterfly with your knees bent. So up to your choice. Arms maybe over your head, maybe crossed over your chest, so whichever. And once you got comfortable, you can do some swirling motion like banana shape from side to side into the lateral stretch. Just again, to come to complete neutral position of the spine. And then calm down your breath. Maybe breathing out through your mouth a few times. If you feel some tension through the body, that really helps to release everything. And then come back completely to natural breath. Nothing special you don't need to do. Now we letting the body to rest and let everything sink in, what we stretch, mobilized, what we strengthen, so that everything will balance out throughout body parts, the physical part of the body as well as the energetic. And feeling that lightness within. Complete release into silk, into space. Nowhere to rush, nowhere to go. Just being into this moment. Accepting your body, accepting your feelings. Whatever arises. Letting yourself fulfill into this moment. And you may stay in Shavasana as long as you would like to. Or if you're ready to move on, then just stretch your arms over your head. Again, maybe swirling from side to side, stretching through. And once you're ready, take your feet out. Take your head out, maybe flipping up off the silk. And this is where we will finish our practice of today of the hip flow practice, increasing mobility, flexibility in the pelvis area. I hope you enjoyed this class and feeling more loose through the lower body. And please share your experience, your feelings down below in the comments. And as always, like, subscribe, and all that fun. as well as all the information down below, and as always in description. Other than that, guys, I'll see you in the next flying experience, classes, tricks, sequences, you name it. So see you. Bye. Namaste.